For more than a decade, FTI has strived to become the leader in the aftermarket performance transmission and converter industry. We've joined forces with McLeod Driveline Components under the leadership of Top Fuel Funny Car pilot Paul Lee, and now have a larger distribution network, more resources, and more power. Come see us in the pits and ask how you can join the FTI family. It's not cheating, it is the competitive edge.
Looking to replace your OEM diesel particulate filter or diesel oxidation catalyst? Look no further than DPF XFit, a complete line of aftermarket diesel particulate filters and diesel oxidation catalysts designed as an exact fit OEM replacement with all makes coverage for light, medium, and heavy-duty trucks. With thousands of units in stock, we ship the same or next day, and be sure to check out our comprehensive reverse OEM lookup tool. Always new, never remanufactured. For more information, be sure to visit dpfxfit.com. That's dpfxfit.com.
This is WFO Radio.
Hey everybody, WFO Radio is back. Welcome back as we get ready for the Elite Motorsports NHRA Gatornationals, the start of the 2025 Mission Foods Drag Racing Series season. I am super excited. We got Erica Enders on the show, six-time Pro Stock World Champion. Erica's running Pro Mod at the World Series of Pro Mod here this weekend, and I am just fired up to see what the plan is coming out of Elite Motorsports. Very excited to talk with Erica. They are out there at Bradenton testing as we speak. It's going to be great. We're going to find out about that. Also on the show, Brittanie Hart going to be joining us. Mrs. Josh Hart, who runs the Fan Fest at BURNYZZ. We're all going to be there a week from tomorrow. Many drivers in the Nitro ranks, many drivers in all the ranks going to come down to Ocala. And when they first did that, I thought, like, is anybody going to go? And the answer, because it's about 50 minutes from Gainesville Raceway, and the answer is so many people go. It's one of the biggest, best fan fests on the tour. BURNYZZ Speed Shop. Of course, they're one of our great sponsors, and super excited to have them on the program. So Brittanie Hart, Erica Enders, a couple of moments from now. Erica's already queued up in the ready room. Before we get to E, I just want to shout out to the people who make it possible, like our Foggett brand. Gary Stinnett kept me on the track this past weekend. BURNYZZ Speed Shop. We'll tell you a little bit more about them all later. We want to get to E, though. HusseyPerformance.net, CWT Industries, FTI Performance, of course, our great friends at Jesse Converters and Total Seal Piston Rings. It is amazing that we keep on going. Our friends at Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, our WFO Patreons, they are all helping us go WFO. And if you're out there in the WFO universe, what do I need you to do? I need you to share the show. We're getting started with another season of NHRA Drag Racing, and she is coming back. My camera angle's a little bit different today. You know, like one of the cats probably knocked it down or something. Let's bring on E, Erica Enders, joining us for the first time in 2025. What's up, E? How are you?
Hey, Joe. I'm good. How are you?
Good. So about to get some testing in the Elite Motorsports Pro Modified machine. Tell us a little bit about what you got going on at the moment.
So all this morning we've been working on our Mountain Motor Pro Stock car. Mikey Coughlin's going to be piloting it this year, so he's getting all fitted in that, and we were trying to wrap that up before we threw me in the Pro Mod car. But I'm driving the same '69 Camaro owned by Scott Tidwell, tuned by Chris Terry. So I'm excited about that. I had a good outing at the U.S. Street Nationals. I was hitting the tree, and unfortunately we shook and I had to pedal second round, and we didn't get the win. But anyway, I'm glad to be back behind the wheel of it. It's been a lot of fun to drive, and I was a little apprehensive coming into the first race back in December because I haven't been in a Pro Mod car since our season-ending fire in Norwalk a few years back. So it's definitely been something fun to do during the off season, and then as far as work at the shop goes, it's been all hands on deck. At some races we're going to have as many as 11 cars, so it's been very busy, Joe.
Oh my goodness. Totally busy. And I can understand where you're coming from. But I'm super excited for you, right? This World Series of Pro Mod, Westbuck, the Drag Illustrated Series, first year, have done a great job. Bradenton Motorsports Park, the Skag Pro race. There's been a lot going on in the state of Florida. And to me, it's all like a buildup for people all around the country to come down here and get ready for the Elite Motorsports NHRA Gatornationals to kick off to the Mission Foods Series and Pro Stock. I would love to know where you're, give us the mental space on this year? Is this like a revenge year? Because you know, we talked about how you had a terrible year, right? You only won the Gator Nationals and you only finished 4th in points. A terrible year for Erica, a great year for anybody else. But where's your attitude? Where are you coming into 2025?
Well, I'm going to try to repeat the headspace that I had coming out in 2022, where, you know, they kind of coined the phrase "no more nice Erica." But, you know, the fashion that we lost the championship in 2021, I was ready to prove some things. And then, you know, last year, coming up to Gainesville this year, it's been a calendar year since we won a race. And that's kind of been unheard of for the last few years here at Elite Motorsports. So I'm ready to prove myself. You know, I did not drive well. I had a new car last year, probably the worst report card professionally that I've turned in. So it wasn't something that I was proud of. But we also had some other things going on behind the scenes that maybe sound like excuses to some people, but to us, it was the most important thing in the world. So, you know, Mark Ingersoll is healing up from his double lung transplant. Jake won't be on tour with us for the beginning part of this year as he's battling cancer and going through some serious chemo treatments. So those are 2 of our key players, and just things were really different in our camp, but we're doing the best that we can. I want to give huge kudos to Chase Freeman. You know, just a couple years ago, he was driving my truck and was my clutch guy on my race car. And since then, he's been pulling his weight as a crew chief. And with Mark's absence, he's taken the reins. And it's really proud of the workload that he's taken on. And I can see it in his face. It's a ton of stress, but he's performed awesome. He's a super smart guy. So everybody's pulling their weight. Anthony Lum is Jake's partner in the EFI tuning department. Aaron Stanfield has actually stepped up to the plate too. He's going to be helping with some EFI stuff until Jake returns. So, and Kyle Bates as well. So we've got a lot of moving parts and pieces, but yeah, long answer to your question. I'm ready to get back out there, do maybe a little bit of proving. And, you know, when I have a slight chip on my shoulder, I tend to perform a little bit better. So pissed off Erica's a successful Erica. So we'll hopeful that my mind is where it was in 2022 and we'll come out swinging. But I'm ready to get that 50th win off of my back, and that way we can quit talking about it and I can move forward.
Yes. Well, exactly. It's you know, okay, let's address it. Like, I've got this thing that I'm trying to do about not even addressing the negativity, right? Like, just blow it off, right? Yep. But when you give a reason, someone, if there's 100 people, like 5 of them are going to call that reason an excuse. But I can think of a couple of things. Like, we hung out in Norwalk, watched you pour a new seat, and you talked about how you were just not quite comfortable in the new car. Like, you had a world championship car, that car goes to someone else, you're in a new car. It always takes time. We saw other racers with new cars, you know, try to get comfortable. It's just not the same. This is not the same. And that's a reason. But then Mark Ingersoll, like, come on. Like, you know, the idea that wondering if one of your best friends is going to be okay isn't going to weigh on you. Of course. And now with Jake, like the team, the elite family, all that. So anyway, I want to emphasize those thoughts because there is no way to perform exactly the same as you would. If you were, then there wouldn't be love. There would be inhuman. If you'd be a robot, that would be.
Well, thank you for saying that. And it's so true. And I feel like that's kind of the lesson through the stress that we had last year was just that what we're doing in the whole grand scheme of life just really doesn't matter. And what matters is the people that we love the most that make our program successful. And that's what's unique about Elite Motorsports, and what makes it so coveted is you can't buy what we have. We have a great team chemistry, and these guys are like family to each other and to me. And we choose to spend our free time together as well. You know, when we have an off weekend, everybody that, you know, is in Oklahoma will go do something fun, go to a concert, we vacation together. So the most important part of the puzzle, and I say that line a lot, is the people. And when something bad happens, you kind of rally together and you make the best of it. But all the prayers and well wishes are really appreciated, and I feel like the power of prayer is very significant. So I'm ready to have my boys back in the seats that they belong in, and I know that they're itching to be back at the track too. So thank you for saying that, Joe. I appreciate it.
Well, and but on the other end of it, look at my man Kenny says I'm kissing too much ass. Yeah, Kenny, you didn't think I'd put that on the screen. First of all, it could be said that I kiss everyone's ass on this show because it is positive, right? Like generally try to be positive with my analysis. Why is that? Because I know how hard this stuff is. I mean, like I just scratched the surface a little bit of how hard it is. So it's really easy to be negative, Kenny. Sorry, Kenny.
Maybe when Kenny has his own radio show, he can say what he wants to say. But I appreciate the positivity, and we get plenty of negative questions from reporters that think they're on CNN. So the positivity goes a long way.
Yeah, Kenny with his all caps name wants everybody to know. Just listen. Just kidding, Kenny. Love you, Kenny. Keep listening.
Look at you, Joe.
Go buy a shirt, Kenny. Krista Baldwin out there watching, ready to see EE in the winner's circle. That's right. We've got a VIP audience. Can't wait to see Krista out there as well. She was running great at the end of last year. So Pro Stock right now. Richard did something on Competition Plus about right now being the best time ever for Pro Stock. We both love Pro Stock, maybe more than most. You've devoted your life to it. And I think we could have made that argument every year of the last 5 years, that it just keeps getting better and better. What we saw last year in the countdown, the close competition. Yeah, there are some challenges like, two really super powered teams. I would love for the McGahays to get up in there, and maybe they will. Chevys, the dominant engine, the DRCE. But other than that, driving and close competition, it couldn't be better. Build on that a little bit.
Yeah. Well, Richard's interview, he doesn't really hold back ever. And he has said over and over that his goal this year is to kind of educate the fans in a sense where maybe they won't pop off and say things like pro Camaro and it's boring to watch and it's a dying breed. There's not car count. Well, we were looking as we had breakfast this morning at the entry list for the Gatornationals next weekend, and the Quadros aren't on there. I didn't see Matt Hartford on there, so I think that when they said if all those guys enter, there's going to be like 25 cars. So I don't necessarily think that we're struggling. If you look back to when we did the rule change from carburetors to EFI, it took a big hit on the class because of the cost involved in changing over everything, just the parts and pieces, let alone the R&D that has to be done to make it run right, and then of course be successful on the track. So Pro Stock as a class collectively took a couple hits, and Richard and Jason Line when he was over at KB, and of course Greg, they got together and they tried to make the class a little more affordable. I use the term loosely, but just to give perspective, when I drove for Victor Cagnazzi, it cost me $100,000 a weekend, so $2.4 million a year. When I came over here to Richards, we flew our own airplane, and the first year we won our championship together, we spent right around $1 million too, so half the price, and we were able to go out there and win the world. So it goes to show that when you're frugal and you don't pay like $400,000 and $500,000 salaries, it can be done affordable, and that's what KB and Richard at Elite have really done for the class. So the amount of hate that people want to spew really have no skin in the game. If they did, I feel like their opinions would be slightly different. But anyway, Richard wanted to educate the fans on what's going on behind the scenes in Pro Stock. And then my opinion, like when I first started Pro Stock racing back in 2004, that's when I got my license. It was kind of a good old boys country club. It was a bunch of middle-aged men, and I was a 19-year-old female back then. So I can only imagine what they thought of me. But we've since then changed the demographic. Like, look how young the drivers are. We've had a couple more females out there with Sienna and Camry trying to make it work as well. And then like a ton of young guns. And I love, like, when we ran the Pro Superstar Shootout a couple weeks ago, like, I loved seeing on the roster 2 Stanfields and a couple Coughlins and a couple Quadras, and it just goes to show you how much how family oriented the sport is, and it's really cool to see like fathers and sons racing together. And I know that was my favorite part of growing up racing, was doing it with my family. So Pro Stock is healthy, Pro Stock is happening, Pro Stock is affordable. It's not something that's not unattainable anymore. The guys that race Super Stock and Comp that come up and watch Pro Stock, right, and then leave when the Nitro cars run because they're real racers and they love it. It's something that you can write a check for and come do. So it's definitely put some excitement back in it, in my opinion.
I agree. All right. So people are commenting, and I just want them to know, if you didn't go to the Skag Pro shootout, you have no idea where Erica is right now. But if you did go there, you know they're right behind the starting line. And so there is going to be some background audio that we love. No, but I want to explain, because someone is like, the internet and the audio. And the answer is that's the sound of horsepower, baby, except filtered through the walls of an Elite
Motorsports trailer. So,
right. Like, so that's like, she's doing her best. There's nothing else we could do. I would say you got to deal with it if you like the sound of horsepower. What's the Elite Motorsports lineup this year, Erica? Because I think Jerry Don has moved on, but we got Greg Stanfield, Stephen Bell going to be there. What can you lay out for us so we have an understanding of who's under the umbrella?
So it'll be myself and Aaron Stanfield in the JHG Melling Performance cars. Jake Coughlin's returning in the Skag Power Equipment car. TJ will be in the Jegs.com car. And then we've added Greg Stanfield and Stephen Bell. Greg is kind of in the place of where Jerry Don was last year. Stephen Bell is an additional car. For those of you that don't know that name, he runs Factory Shootout and FX and has been extremely successful. And he's just an awesome Southern boy, and we're glad to have him on our team. And then, of course, the Quadra boys. I'm not sure all of them are running a full schedule, but I know that some of them are and some of them aren't. So, and then in addition to that, we're going to be leasing some engines to Brandon Foster at F6 Motorsports. So I think when everybody's at the race, if everybody's entered, we'll have 11 cars. And going back to Richard's article, we don't own and operate 11 cars, so it's not a mega team. All of these guys own and operate their own equipment. We provide a service, whether it be engine leasing, some crew chiefs, EFI tuning. There's a couple different packages you can pick from, but a lot of these cars are their own entity, if you will, but we operate as one team. And again, that's something that's unique here at Elite Motorsports. There are no walls up. You can kind of see in the crew chief lounge, there are 6 desks up here. So all of my guys work together. Every single driver comes up here after our runs, and we go over everything together. So I'm excited about what's ahead for our program, and to think that, we put this together 12 years ago is the first time I came over to Elite Motorsports. We had 6 guys and 1 race car, and now I've got over 60 men on the road full time and upwards of 11 cars. So it's been cool to be on since the very beginning and see it grow.
Exactly. All right. So Andrew wants to know if you're going to run Pro Mod in NHRA. You're running the World Series of Pro Mod in Bradenton this weekend, but what about in NHRA? Are you going to run some? You're going to run any? You're going to run none? What are you doing?
I'm hopeful to run a few. Scott Tidwell and Richard were talking about it at the U.S. Street Nationals, which was the second of West's Winter Series a couple weeks ago. I'm hopeful to at least run the couple that Pro Stock is not going to be at. I think it's Richmond and Chicago, but we'll see what happens. I think we might do some trading around. We're trying to get Scott Tidwell in a Pro Stock car, so he's a great driver from years back, and has the operation much like ours at Elite, and state-of-the-art equipment, and doesn't really pinch pennies anywhere. So it's nice to drive a car that I feel safe in, and I'm very hopeful to run some NHRA events.
All right. So some people are asking about a previous interview that we had last year, middle of last year, when Richard came on and floated the whole Top Fuel thing to everybody. I was proud of that interview because it went around the world, from the boardrooms of Chevrolet to every website, and it was great. And it was a kind of an earth-shattering story, and everybody was excited, but it was hingent upon you being allowed to run 2 categories by NHRA, thus opening the door to everybody doing that. Can we put a period on that one way or another? Do we know anything?
It's definitely not off the table. I know that I went and got fitted for, Richard ordered a couple cars. He wanted to make sure that we were fully funded in that arena before we ventured off into it. Costing between $4 and $5 million a year is a ton of money. But that kind of goes on the heels of Richard's interview again, is he sees, car counts being lower in the nitro classes, and he's just wanting to expand and help and kind of do for the nitro classes what he did for Pro Stock. So that was kind of the thought behind it. It's definitely not off the table. It's kind of another carrot in front of me that, there are other avenues to explore, and definitely expand my driving resume. So not off the table. It's not something that I will obviously be showing up to in Gainesville, but we'll see where things go. But yeah, it's still moving.
I like it. Well, that's it. That's a little update right there. All right. We want to let you get back to testing. Couple more things. I've got a lot of NHRA fans out there. We encourage them to share the show. Erica Enders on with us here at WFO. The Elite Motor Royal NHRA Gator Nationals, couple weeks away. The thrash before happening. But let's reflect on the conclusion to the 2024 season, right? Greg Anderson, this old geriatric old man, Greg Anderson, goes out there and shows the two young guys that he can do it again. And, Aaron and Dallas battling out. I don't think anybody, this is crazy, but I don't think anybody really thought that Greg was going to pull it out. And he did. And now he's sitting on top of the pyramid once again. Just reflect on that a little bit, because I know you guys have had this tremendous rivalry, and between you have 12 world championships.
Yeah, that was definitely something we were proud of, to get our 6 before he got his, and ultra competitive between the two of us, obviously. But yeah, we felt like the tables kind of turned in Dallas when Greg eliminated Dallas. I think it was in the semifinals, and we're like, he just cost Dallas the world championship right there, because Dallas had a pretty good lead, I believe, at that point. But, we, again, gave it our all especially with Aaron's car. He had a great chance to win the championship up until the semis in Pomona. So kind of just one of those deals where it didn't go in our favor, and that's okay. I was actually telling the story yesterday that, I've been racing pro stock. I think this will be my 22nd year. And you just got to stick around long enough, because the pendulum swings. It goes in cycles from KV to Elite. And, you date back to the Glidden days and the era that everybody wants to still talk about, which is very, very impressive. But the pendulum ultimately swings in another direction, and you gotta put your head down and go to work and just keep after it. So having the tenacity to do that is I guess contributes to the longevity of our careers. The guys have been doing it for a really long time. So definitely cool Greg calls himself the old man, but don't let him fool you. He's still super competitive behind the wheel, obviously. And yeah, just one of those deals. We didn't end up on top, and that's okay, but you can bet your ass that we'll be swinging for the fences this year to get that championship back to Oklahoma.
Love it. Love it. Women of Power edition of NHRA National Dragster, the photo shoot. I was there. It was all embargoed. Everybody was having fun, though. It was great. You came up with a brilliant idea to use a turnstile to take a bottle cap off. I appreciate that. We got to enjoy. It was a cool hangout. But what does that mean for drag racing to have a cover full of talented female racers? Now, the whole. We know that you are a drag racer first, but in the world where Caitlin Clark is causing people to go do things that they've never done before, go see WNBA basketball, and millions of dollars are happening. The big television contract negotiation is happening in the next couple of years to pack the cover of NHRA National Dragster with yourself with a 6-time champion, pretty much as the leader of it, and have that many talented female racers. Can you reflect on that for a moment?
Yeah, I definitely think it's awesome. I spent much of my career kind of trying to dismiss the fact, but you also have to embrace it as well, because it's a novelty. It's cool, that women are driving race cars. And I had this long call with Women in Motorsports North America the other day, and they were talking about a Drive for Diversity type program that NASCAR did, and I think we're really fortunate in the aspect that we don't have to have that. It's such a natural progression for NHRA. I mean, and I attribute that to the platform that you can excel on. From junior drag racing, you can bring a street car from home and compete in stock eliminator. The ladder is there, the stair steps are there for you to get to whatever level you want to compete at. And so yeah, I'm honored to be part of such a successful group of women. But I think between Angela and myself on the cover, we've got right at 100 wins almost. So, and then the younger Angie was on there, Alexis, the younger guns, Maddie Gordon. It's really cool to see her success and her announcement that she'll be she'll be joining Caps Motorsports next year. I just think it's really cool for all the ladies. But at the same time, you kind of want to just be like a race car driver. And again, I spent much of my career kind of focusing on that and diminishing the female aspect. But it is what it is, right? But that's something that's so cool about our sport and motorsports in general is when you put your helmet on, everything's equal. It doesn't matter what color your hair is, what gender you are. It's just one of those deals. So it was a cool experience. We did that photo shoot at the NHRA Museum in Pomona, and it was definitely cool to be a part of it. David Kennedy showed up with snacks and drinks, and it was just a fun time for all the ladies. So we had a good time.
Yeah, it was a great time. I got all these behind the scenes pictures that I never, even bothered to put out. And then the cover comes out and it's like, oop, I missed it. But what are you going to do? Erica, thank you very much for the time. Is there anything you want to say to the WFO universe as we get ready to start this journey? Once again, an entire season of NHRA Mission Foods Drag Racing. We're going to be in Pomona in November. I'm pretty sure you'll have a chance at number 7. That would be crazy because you're tied with Warren Johnson right now. Like, that would be crazy. Just take it. If you got anything you want to say to everybody out there.
Yeah, obviously you say number 7 and that's like right where my brain goes. But every driver's goal every year is to win the world championship. I think it would put us in kind of uncharted territory with, exceeding Warren Johnson. And then the only people ahead of us would be, I think, Tony Schumacher, Bob Glidden, and John Force. So, that young Erica kind of wants to pinch yourself for being in a group with those big names, but something that we've worked our whole life for and we're really proud of. But as far as the 2025 season goes, it's kind of crazy that the off season is over. We've had fun again with the Winter Series in Westbrook. We can't thank him enough for the love that he has for our sport. And we've just put our heads down, honestly, at the shop and gone to work. The guys have been really digging deep to find horsepower because I promise you that they do not like to get outrun on Sundays, and it's something that they take a lot of pride in. So the future's bright, I think, for everyone in our camp. I think Greg Stanfield's really excited. He calls it his twilight career or something funny like that. So I think we'll have a lot of really, just look at the names in our group. It's some strong talent under these awnings. So I'm proud to be a part of it. I'm proud to have helped build it with Richard and the boys here at Elite. So we'll see what happens. But thank you to all the WFO fans for watching, and keep after it. We love our sport, and I'm glad you guys do too.
Thank you very much, Erica. Say hi to everybody for me, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Gator Nationals right around the corner. Thank you, E.
Sounds good. Thanks, Joe.
There she goes, Erica Enders, 6-time Pro Stock World Champion, with us here on WFO Radio. And, guys, it's live. It's live. She's at the track. There's cars. They're testing Pro Mod cars, World Series of Pro Mod. They're doing burnouts, okay? So we're going to have a little funky audio. And it is what it is. That's it. If you can't handle it, then you can't handle it. But I think you can handle it. I think you should share it because that's as real as it gets. We got Brittanie Hart coming up next. We're going to talk about the big BURNYZZ Fan Fest, and you guys can throw your comments up into the comments section. We're going to talk to Brittanie. We're going to get ready, but we're going to do all of that after we hear a word from a couple of our sponsors.
Foggit is a high-performance fogging oil designed especially for internal combustion engines. Foggit can be used by everyone. If you have a lawnmower, a jet ski, a motorcycle, a tractor, a high-performance car, a classic car, racing vehicles, if it has a cylinder wall, it needs Foggit.
The number one source of friction in your engine is not what you think. Piston rings rubbing against the cylinder walls generate more friction than any other part of the engine. More friction and temperature means more wear and less horsepower. Fortunately, the team at Total Seal knows how to reduce friction and wear through innovative piston ring design. If it takes a piston, Total Seal can build a better ring.
She said that Hartford was yet to be on the entry list, and I have not yet looked at the entry list, but I'm sure they're going to be there. Just super excited for the Emily Motor Oil NHRA Gator Nationals. If you are too, put a share out there on whether you're retweeting on X or you're pushing it out there on Facebook, or drop a comment in the comment section on YouTube. We're always fighting those algorithms, right? Like trying to defeat the algorithm so that they share to the show to the largest amount of people. If you love drag racing of any kind, the NHRA is the pinnacle of the motorsport. And we start at the Amalie Motor Oil NHRA Gatornationals World Series of Pro Mod going on this weekend. Also, the Baby Gators, whereas the race that I am going to. And after we speak with Brittanie Hart about the Amalie Motor Oil NHRA Gatornationals Fan Fest at BURNYZZ Speed Shop, we'll talk a little bit about what happened with me at Speed World Orlando, the Lucas Oil Series, and we'll be going again at the Baby Gators here in a couple of days. You know, the Lucas Oil Series, we call it the backbone of NHRA drag racing. That's easy to say. Maybe it's more the blood of NHRA drag racing, because these Lucas Oil Series racers, and I now am one of them. I had a decent weekend. Shockingly enough, pretty amazing. People reaching out to me to, you know, say good job and all with our Project Pontiac finally getting on the racetrack, and a stellar debut. I have no other way to say it. In spite of my own shortcomings, we were able to get down to 6 cars in the quarterfinals at Orlando, and now we're rolling into the Baby Gators. Fast cars, pro modified cars at the World Series of Pro Mod. We're going to have alcohol cars. We're going to have Julie Natus in Randy Myers Nitro Burner and Sean Bellemere in the Nitro Burner out there at the Baby Gators. It's going to be great. But the Fan Fest will be just a couple days after, and joining us now, Brittanie Hart, to talk about it. What's up, Brittanie? Welcome to WFO.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm really good. I'm very excited. And the Fan Fest, and any event that we have a Fan Fest, I think that like the biggest one is the Vegas one, Vegas 2, Halloween weekend. Didn't have one last year because Halloween was on the Thursday that we would normally have it, and that was just going to be too crazy. But your BURNYZZ Fan Fest, I think, is slotted in right along with the Stampede of Speed Fan Fest as a just tremendous event. You open your doors, you have a car show, there's live music. Set the scene for us. What are we going to see this year at BURNYZZ on the Wednesday before the Gatornationals?
Well, much the same as the prior years. We have well over 40 drivers signed up to be here to autograph hero cards and items that you may bring. We're super excited. This is our first year that we've had a sponsor for the event. Citizens First Bank reached out, and they just thought that it was such a great event and program, and they wanted to be a part of it. We have a different charity this year. We try to choose a different one each year that we do it. So any funds we raise will all be donated back out to this charity. This year it's Ear Sanctuary here in town. And the rest will be much the same. We have the live band, about 8 food trucks coming, tons and tons of cars. It should be a lot of fun.
I'm super excited. I love the charitable tie-in. Initially, I mentioned at the start of the show, I don't know if you were on, but I like to, even when I have a negative thought, I might put it out there, which is like, man, are people going to go to this? It's 50 minutes from the track. And the answer in the first 2 years is a resounding yes. I know a lot of people that fly into Orlando and kind of time it out to go to the Fan Fest first. You guys had hundreds of cars. You had live music. Garlitz was there. Force was there. It has been amazing. What has the local community said about this event? Because you're stopping traffic. You got traffic flow issues, which is a good thing as far as I'm concerned. They have to be pretty surprised.
Yeah, they are. Everybody looks forward to it. We hear about it months in advance. Are you having it? Are you guys doing it again this year? So we have the big one in March, and we have a big one in October, and they're really great, and everybody is super supportive, which is amazing. It's what the local communities need. Just a good gathering of people, something to look forward to, and something to have fun at. A safe environment. And we do have the sheriff deputies here that will help with traffic. So that definitely helps when everybody's leaving at the end of the car show. We'll have handmade trophies. It's just such a fun event for everybody to look forward to. And it's free, unless you register your car for the show, it's free for you to come walk around.
That is so great. That is so great. And last year, NHRA's big wigs came out and they were all blown away. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but I just said it like, oh my gosh, okay. BURNYZZ is a serious deal. Now, I spoke with Josh on Brian Wagner's Drag Zine podcast at the PRI show. And we know, and I know that, but I haven't seen it, that Josh is a drummer and a very aggressive drummer. And his taste in music is maybe different than what the mild-mannered character that we all know is different. And so I asked him can we get a drum kit, Josh? Can we see you play the drums at this deal? And he said, yeah, we'll do it. But now it's like rubber meets road moment. Are we going to have a drum kit? Are we going to see Josh do his thing?
You are. So the live band will be here. So they'll have a drum set. Obviously, but I was thinking it might be kind of neat to see Josh play on Little London's purple set of drums. So we might have to bring those in too.
Nice. Well, the thing about Josh, and now I'm gonna maybe put you into a comfort zone or knock you out of a comfort zone, right? Like he's a bit mysterious. He's like this mild-mannered, quiet person, but very successful in his life, and when he does say something, it's consequential. Like, all right, so you guys have been together for a long time. We know the story about BURNYZZ and how it got started, knocking on doors, asking to detail cars. You've been there the whole time. What's the journey been like?
It's been good. I'm a true believer, and if you work hard, hard work pays off. You don't appreciate what you have unless you work hard for it, and we've been through a lot together. It's made us a lot stronger as a couple. And you appreciate things a lot more when you do it together. It's been amazing to see how far this place has come. And it's heartwarming too, because a lot of our guys have been with us for a long time. So that in itself is just very rewarding too, the loyalty.
Excellent. All right. So now I'm searching for dirt. I got to do that, right? Like last year, Josh was, he was not satisfied with the performance. Went out there and made considerable investment and changes. Now get Jason McCullough over there, Ron Douglas, Jason McCullough. And so, give me your assessment of where this team is going as best as you can.
I'm going to say hopeful. Is a good word. We made a lot of changes during the off season, a lot of investment. And I think Bradenton showed, it kind of proved the changes that were made. We have a great group of guys. I know everybody says that, but I truly feel like it. It's just like BURNYZZ, you invest into them, they invest into you, and it just all flows, right? So we're hoping for a good 180, 360, whatever you want to call it for this season. Last season was rough. Nobody will deny that from our team. It wasn't that anybody didn't put their heart into it. It just wasn't flowing. So hopefully this year, everything will come together with the changes and the new people and the team, and we'll go out there and kick some butts.
I like it. All right. So what about, we were just talking with Erica Enders, and it's takes a village. It's a family sport. There's all these cliches about it. Behind every great man, there's a great woman, Martha Washington, all of these things. What's your NHRA experience and assessment about this sport? You've obviously done a lot of things in your life. You've built a business together. And so when you look at the NHRA and you show up at the track each weekend and you see the investment and you watch it on TV, NHRA on Fox, we got a big year coming up, 75th anniversary this year. As someone who is, recent in the sport, what moves you about the sport of NHRA drag racing?
It's a lot. It's a big undertaking. I think there's a lot more into it than people realize, and a lot more into it than a lot of people give team owners, drivers credit for, because there's so much on the back end that people don't see every weekend, but it is such a great sport. I have said it since Josh started, in the top alcohol ranks, when I started really going to the track. NHRA is a very family-oriented community for not only just the people coming to visit, but for all of us on the teams. We respect each other. We're there for each other, and we know that no matter what, if somebody needed something, one of us would be there. The camaraderie is great. Back in the A-Field days, my favorite part of the day wasn't necessarily the racing. It was at the end of the day, because everybody would gather from all of the pits and just hang out. And it was like a big family community. And it just made it so fun and so worth it, and much more than just drag racing and competing.
That's great. No, I agree. And sometimes it is that way. But the fierceness of competition and moments at the track, it gets hot, but then sometimes it can cool down, and and we have those moments. Brittany, give the vitals, address, where, when, one more time for everybody out there in the WFO universe. Hopefully they will share this. And if you're going to the Gator Nationals, I can tell you it's Wednesday, late afternoon and early evening, kind of like a 5 to 8 kind of vibe. And you'll have plenty of time to get to Gainesville. You'll have plenty of time to make it to the track, but give the vitals. And most importantly, like how parking is going to work and all that stuff and any other information that we need.
Okay, so BURNYZZ Fan Fest is March 5th from 6 to 9. Driver autograph session is from 7 until 8. Regular parking, if you're a spectator, it's free. You can park anywhere around the property. There will be sheriff deputies around kind of directing people where to go. If you have a car that you want to enter into the show, it's $10. All donations, proceeds will be donated to Ear Sanctuary. We have food trucks, face painting, balloon animals, live band. NHRA is donating tickets for giveaways, so we'll have some of that going on. We'll have a couple of raffles, the 50-50. It's just going to be a lot of fun.
That is great. I'm very excited. All right, but here's the real question, Andrew. Of course, he's got to go there, right? Ask Brittany if she's going to get behind the wheel sometime. What about it, Brittany? You ever think about driving anything?
Possibly. We've been talking about it. I know everybody's made or seen the announcement, I'm sure, of Josh with the Factory Stock Showdown. Originally, that was kind of something that I was going to be doing. But, right now we have 2 very small children. So probably in the future.
Wow. All right. Yeah. Banks and Helen, of course, stars in their own right out there. Yeah. What about Factory Showdown? That's kind of interesting curveball, Josh.
Right.
I love it, though, because it shows that style of racing, it's not all about 335 miles per hour. It's about competition in racing, and that you can feel really great about something going, a mere 180.
Right. A mere. Yeah. So he's really excited. Just another avenue, it's been something he's been kind of tinkering with for a few years. And like I said, we originally thought when we bought the car that it would be something I would do, and then we adopted Banks, and so it's just kind of been by the wayside, and was brought up this year, and we thought, why not, let him go for it, have some fun with it, and enjoy it, and then maybe in the future it'll be something that I can jump into.
That's great. Great news. Yeah. Brittanie Hart, appreciate you coming on WFO Radio. You guys as a sponsor of WFO as well, and looking for, inventory for that showroom and just so many cool cars. That's like my favorite part, honestly, is just walking around, looking at the inventory on the showroom in BURNYZZ. And, we encourage everybody to swing by because you have clients all over the world, right? It's not like you're just selling to Ocala. Like people are contacting you from the everywhere.
Yeah. They've gone to Switzerland, Brazil, Germany, Holland, everywhere. So, and then, I would say probably 80% of them don't stay here locally. They're all over the United States. So
that is awesome. And yeah, Josh gave us the info about the big expansion earlier this year. Great stuff. Brittany, thank you very much. See you next week. I appreciate you coming on the show and getting everybody up to speed and, taking the responsibility of hosting the Fan Fest. Like, it's a lot of work, we know, but we will enjoy it and we appreciate it.
It's so worth it. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Brittany. Appreciate it. We'll see you soon. There she goes.
Thank you.
Brittanie Hart with us here on WFO Radio. How great is that? How great is that? They open there. Like, I used to have parties at my house, like for a minute. And then I said, whoa, too much work and responsibility. Like, it goes against the ethos, right? Like, reap the benefits without the responsibilities. And they are taking the responsibility of having the big pre-race party on Wednesday. Make plans to come out, check out BURNYZZ Speed Shop. It is amazing. All right, guys, get your comments in the comments section. I want to hear what you have to say. Not going to blow out of here like immediately because I want to show you something that happened this past weekend. If you've been following along with Project Pontiac, you know that for multiple years, I have been cajoled and implored and motivated by many within the NHRA drag racing community. Jason Line was one, and, Kelly Wade was one, and a lot of people to get my dad's car going again. to get it out there. And I always thought, like, if this is not work, this is play. And they're like, it's not, it's work, because this is what you do. You work in drag racing. And if you get on the track, you'll understand more about drag racing and you'll have the experience about drag racing. And so as much as you think it's not your work, it is your work to do these things and understand. And that, like, whether it was just motivation or it was actually true, it really got a fire under me about a couple of years ago. And we've done a lot of work to get to this point. And finally, the deadline, like Alan Reinhart always says, that if there's no scheduled race, you'll never make it to the track. The race was scheduled in Speed World Orlando. The Lucas Oil Series debut, the first race of 2025, was at Orlando Speed World. And we have set up to run the category that the car fits in, which is super street. And we've created, some videos and some social media, and we got a playlist on YouTube, WFO Radio's TV YouTube channel, and it's called Project Pontiac. You can see as whatever we got, but we got more stuff getting ready to come up there. And we finally made it to the track. And it was, I don't want to say like it was incredible stress and it almost broke me, because, that's too honest. I would not tell you that. Like, that would be like, is there weakness? There's no weakness. No way. We just looked at the stress and we ate a big sandwich of stress and we went about our lives like it was nothing. We handled it like completely easily. It was really no big deal at all. Didn't almost break us. So if you believe that, that's great. But when I'm supposed to be leaving for the track at 9 a.m. on Wednesday morning last week, and I basically got a yard sale going on where the car is kept, and finally I made it out the door at 3, and I got there at 7 Thursday morning, getting everything ready. We got a tire rub. We got an issue. Talked about it heavily on the Ignition podcast, the audio-only podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Sue Morris, Dave Morris, Gary Stinnett, Rick McDonough, Corey Kramer, everybody that helped me. Couldn't have done it by myself. Could not have done it by myself. Could have actually. I could have done it. No problem. By 2029, like in the allotted hours, something about an extra set of hands and more knowledge and another brain that gets you there. People who have knowledge and tools and space and shop and a lift. But in the end, we made it to the track. And on Saturday morning, we were faced with first round eliminations in the Lucas Oil Series, the season opener, the debut, all of Project Pontiac, all the work, Gary Stinnett, TBM Brakes, Foggett, the PRI show, all of the things that happened, culminating in a round 1 race. And who do I have to race? You may recall 1 year ago, to get some grading points, my wonderful friend Lee Neal lent me his S10 pickup truck to go out there and make my first ever runs in the modern era in NHRA Super Street on the Pro Tree. And I raced his black S10 truck. Well, as bad luck would have it, we pulled into the lanes and we were one car apart. So it was going to be cool. And then somehow someone in my lane had an electrical glitch, some sort of car problem, wouldn't start, and they pulled out of the lane and everybody moved up. Now, I always thought that in that situation, the person that person was going to race would get a competition single. But the line moved up, and now I had to run my friend Lee in the WFO Radio certified diesel sponsored S10 pickup truck. And Lee Neal and I battled for a sportsman track championship at Miami Hollywood Speedway in like 1991. And here it is, 2025. And now we have to race in the first race in the life of Project Pontiac. The return of the car, my return to the track. And Lee is a tough and fierce racer. This guy is incredible. And so now we got to run. So my buddy Rick McDonough, who runs Top Sportsman, comes over and he's like, you got to run Lee. You got to. It looks like, oh my God, this is awful. What a nightmare, right? And so let's watch the video. Let's watch what happened. Project Pontiac, baby, back on track. Finally. You see Dave Morris right there. Dave Morris. What's going on here? Where am I? Where is me? There we go. Dave Morris reacting. Wind light comes on my side of the track. I didn't know that. 1090 with a 4. He was 14. I was 10. He was 1 over. I'm dead on. And we advanced to round 2. In the end, Project Pontiac bowed out at the quarterfinals, got down to 6 cars, lost to Rudy Matthews. I gave up the wind light by 0.02 of a second. I was 10. Rudy was 002. And he scrubbed a little speed. I knew I had to get rid of some ET. And I was not as quick as I thought I was, but also messed up. Gave up the stripe. But got down to 6 cars, won $125. Woohoo. And get the chance to go again here this weekend at the Baby Gators. Neil Vaccaro won Super Street. Congratulations, Neil. His first win in 50 years of racing. Amazing. Shout out to everybody who made it possible, especially Fuel Factory. Dave and Sue Morris and Mike and the team over there at Mark and everybody at Fuel Factory. Thank you so much for supporting Project Pontiac. Let's see what the comment section says as we get ready to get on out of here and go get ready for the Baby Gators. Let's see. Here we go. Mitchell. You'll have an area that we can donate without a car in the car show. Yeah, I'm sure they will. Sorry, Mitchell, I should ask that. Everybody loving the show, the Hart family, outstanding family. Okay, on to the important stuff. Tell us about your weekend, Joe. Yeah, a lot of work. My goal, why do all this? Understand the Lucas Oil Series racer better. The amount of work. Like, is it worth it, right? The amount of work versus the track time and everything. I had a blast. .90 racing is awesome. The passing each other, like you're passing because of the throttle stop stuff. If you're in the grandstands and you see a car slow down a little bit and you think, oh, they're slowing down a little bit, bleh, right? You need to reevaluate, man. You know, it's our job to make you understand, but we need an open mind to understand the fun factor of the passing. You know, imagine a road course. Imagine an oval where they're passing each other on a drag strip, like passing. Like Lee jumped out to a lead, and then I passed him, and then he passed me. It was because of the throttle stop stuff. It gives you this feeling of racing, like you're racing someone, as opposed to just holding the throttle open, wide open, and hoping you get there first. No disrespect to anything else. It's just as an observation I'm making. Let's see. With the International Drag Racing Hall of Fame coming up, is there anyone you think should be in but keeps getting left out? No, there isn't. I am not going to second guess the board that puts people in. And you also, it's not like that. I don't think like, Major League Baseball. We've got a lot of people represented, but every year you want to have some big people in there, like Phil Burgess, Jim Head, Gary Selzy, all going into the hall this year. There are tables remaining. If you're going to be in Gainesville on Thursday at the Hilton, reach out to Chuck at the International Drag Racing Hall of Fame. Tell him you heard about it on WFO Radio. Tables, I believe, I get 10 seats for $1,100. If you're going to be at the race and you want to entertain some people, Gary Selzy going into the Hall of Fame, they have X amount of tables sold. They've got room for a couple more. And I told Chuck that we would try to sell the place out here on WFO Radio. Think about it. right? It's $1,100, guys. Like, is it a lot? Is it a little? It all depends. But to entertain 10 of your guests with a once-in-a-lifetime, seeing Gary Scelzi go into a Hall of Fame, along with Jim Head, along with Phil Burgess, seeing Brian Loans induct someone, all of those things. Loans is going to be there. Reinhart's going to be there. All going to be there. We're going to have a great time. Yeah, that's nothing. I think they should raise the fee, frankly. But then again, that's what I think about everything. Because everybody else has raised every other fee. Why not? All right. Let's see what else. Lauren M. helped me this weekend, took a lot of photographs, came out, drove 2 hours to watch the debut of Project Pontiac. It was a blast cheering and seeing you, Sue and Dave at Orlando Speed World, the start of a great season. Yes. Yes. It was great. Loved seeing you drive. Thank you very much. Yeah, I did all right. Like, I was 10 first round. I think I was, 14 second round. I was 002 third round. And then I was 10 fourth round. So that's a nice little grouping, 002 to 14 in eliminations, got to try harder, got to work a little harder. Let's see. Walt is a world champion, helped Bruno, has helped many of the greats out there. You made it look easy, buddy. Walt, look, I got Gary Stinnett on the phone. I got Dave and Sue Morris helping me. I don't know what to say, right? I'm not going to give myself a pat on the back. We didn't win anything. We got to the quarterfinals. We're going to the Baby Gators. We're going to try again. I am a big dummy when it comes to this driving stuff. And frankly, anybody that pulls up next to me should take me very lightly because I'm a dumb podcaster who doesn't know what the heck he's doing and trying to figure it all out. You drove great, especially after almost getting crushed in the pits. So, do I have that photograph? There was a downside. There was a bit of a downside. So, at the track, like, you guys don't want to hear stories of Joe, but after all the work, after all the effort, after the years of, and all the towing up the right trailers doing the trailer for us. Thank you, Michael Scott and Right Trailers. And thank you, TBM Brakes. And thank you, everybody who laid hands on the car. Corey Kramer, who wired it. Right? Well, like Super Bowl Sunday, we're wiring this car, man. It's crazy. Corey Kramer and Rick McDonough and everybody that helped me. Totally indebted to all of you. All of that. The car is pitted in the pit area, nice and safe. And all of a sudden, I hear my friend Charlie Cimino start screaming like a maniac. Screaming. Ah! Look at this photo. You see that hand? Behind the hand, do you see that silver? What is that? That's silver. What is it? That is the corner of a 40-foot trailer that was turning left. It kicked to the right, and it came that close to destroying Project Pontiac. This is after we pushed it a little bit. Before push, after push. I was 50 feet away. If Charlie did not have a loud DJ voice, the guys in their RV would not have heard. Bloody murder. Stop. I'm not going to scream that loud. Stop. And this is how close that's coming at us. That is a trailer not going left. It's coming at us. It would have ripped the bumper. It would have destroyed the chassis. It would have spun the car around as they tried to pull in. It would have crushed. It would have destroyed 30-year-old candy apple red paint. It would have ripped the bumper right off. And Project Pontiac would have been destroyed. I clearly would have been in prison. I would have gone to jail because that, if there's anything that is like, what is it? Temporary insanity. I think that I would have had a very valid temporary insanity claim because I would have just been driven into madness. And, I like to think I would have handled myself very well and, gone over and asked for, like, I don't even know. I don't even know what I would have done. Like, I would have had a claim with the pretty fine folks at Elite Motorsports Insurance. That would have been what I would have done. And then I would have bought a boat and you would not have seen me. And I probably would have canceled WFO Radio and gone into the fetal position for a few months and just been fetal, just shivering, staring at my claim. But thanks to Charlie Cimino, Thank you, Charlie. As special as you are, like you will forever be a hero, bud. And these guys, they were as contrite as can be expected. I actually have no problem with it. It was, now just something that happened. But man, could have been the worst thing ever. Let's see. Great sports system, chat people enthusiast. Great job. Project Pontiac in Orlando. Exciting stuff ahead for you. I don't know what Ralph is saying. Privilege, Central Florida, checkered flag. I don't know. Maybe he's saying that I'm a privileged person and I don't deserve, I don't know what he's saying. Maybe he's saying that it's a privilege to be in Central Florida. I don't know. Sorry, Ralph. Let's see. Yeah, 2 WFO cars going at it. Montana karting in the house. You let off too soon, Joe. Thanks, Gary. What are you? Some sort of like Nostradamus? You like a prognosticator. You are. Yeah, I did. You're right, Gary. I did. I gave up the win light by 0.02 of a second. I tapped the brake. I was supposed to be under. I wasn't under. I was told that I did the right thing. I just had a losing outcome. And I could have done a better job. But, this is the understanding that you get from being the person in the arena. So easy to stand on the microphone and pass judgment on people who are performing. It's much different to be the person out there performing. And yeah, I did. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of that. Great job with everything you do, Joe. See on NHRA TV now. You're racing. Love it, says Kara. Thank you, Kara. Have you been practicing on the tree? I believe in over practicing. You can over practice. So I've been trying real hard to not over practice. Gary says hard numbers to beat. Congratulations. Says, what is it? Gray are we? I don't know. I don't get that. Yeah, Ralph and I are struggling to communicate here. Thank you, Ralph, for being there, though. Right? Let's see. Antog, giving me motivation in the shop, working on my WFO BMX rigs. Look, work. It's work. It's all about work. You got to work. You got to go and you got to work. And you're going to get bloody hands. And it's going to cost a lot of money. And it's going to take a lot of time. And your friends are going to miss you because you can't go to happy hour. But there's something on the other end of it. Dawson Pauly, my buddy. I was really impressed with your performance at Orlando. Joe, congratulations on a great showing and looking forward to racing with you in Super Street this year. Oh, wouldn't that be fun? Don't hang me out, Dawson. Don't you do that. Good to see you on the track. I'm planning to have my Mazda at Gainesville this weekend to join you. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. We'll do it. Super Street is a great category, guys. I've had people suggest that it's like, it's the whole throttle stop thing. It's like if you don't get it, you don't get it. I'll work real hard to make sure people understand why it's cool and the going all out, like just keeping your foot on the floor is great sometimes and certainly appreciated. But at the end of the line, it's really much more restricted by your checkbook. How much money are you willing to devote to this project, right? Of winning. How much money are you willing to devote to the project of winning? When your foot is on the floor the whole time, that's what's going on over there with World Series of Pro Mod. Like how much money are you willing to devote to the project? And then when you get into the elite stratosphere where everybody is spending, high 6 and 7 figures, then it once again returns to knowledge, ability, tactics, innovation. But in the middle, a lot of it has to do with how much money are you willing to devote to the project? And I'm taking anything away from anybody that's got a lot of money to devote to the project. I love it. I want more to devote to my project. Selzy's speech is going to be epic. Yes, it will, as long as it's 7 minutes and under. Sorry, got to keep the show going. Joe, we would like to interview you in the pits at the Baby Gators. Yes, Mitchell, let's do it. The truck had a bigger sticker than you. Yes, it did. Lee, let me put a huge sticker on it last year. Didn't take it off. And then I eliminate the WFO truck round 1. But he was sponsored by Certified Diesel, serving the mega yacht community, West Palm Beach and South. Just saw the new Gatornationals shirts, looking fire. Can't wait. Stop that. You're no dummy. Listen, let me play my games. I would take a 009 average reaction time in competition. Be proud, Joe. Stay brain dead. That's really what it is, Dragster Jeff. Don't overthink it. Just react. Don't overthink it. Just do. Right. That is my goal. That's really my goal. I'm managing my expectations. Just keeping the head clear of thought. Crazy Joe, use your copying skills. Exactly. Lifetime. Ralph, like lifetime. Mike, like Ralph, man, these something. Privileged to have your opportunity. Yeah. Timmy Roach, what's up, buddy? All my friends are on there. Listen, guys, I'm spending a little extra time talking about Project Pontiac here because it's shocking. The people were following on live timing. Think of that. There was no stream this weekend in Speed World Orlando. It was very disappointing. Warren Evans went out to Arizona instead. I get it. They have alcohol cars. We did not. But I have voiced my concern that, it would have been so much better on video. But people were following on live timing. In fact, I found out that I won second round because Walt Walker texted me. I got a text, right? It's amazing. Following on live timing. Crazy. Timmy Roach, a buddy from way back in the day. My Wonder Wagon got backed into at the reunion on October 1st. I only got $900 repair. Well, it's white. Doesn't have candy red. But I get your point. Your hard work will pay off at Gainesville. Hard work has already paid off, guys. I'm like the winner already. I got an amazing car. I'm thrilled. It's all bonus from here. Great job last weekend. Eddie says, great job. WFO. Ted Lasso, be a goldfish. Yes, Eddie, Ted Lasso, be a goldfish. That's it. I'm just blinking and looking and just blinking. Do fish blink? I don't know. Tony Beal, good to see Miss Erica's $1 million smile again. 2025 is upon us. Can't wait to see the start. See you in Bristol. Again, Miss Erica. I was expecting, he probably is watching the beginning. Go E. Good luck at the Baby Gators. Here's Kenny. Kenny, you know what, Kenny? I'm really glad that you stuck around. Like, I take a shot at you, but it's not negative. It's positive. It's like little, taking shots. You were right. I was kissing. You can't tell. I kiss the buttocks of every one of our guests. I try to bring out the positivity. You want me to go at people's, go at their throat? Like why? Where does that come from? Elite, let someone else go at their throat. I'll go at their throat for what reason? Now, if they attack me, then that's a different story. But that's not going to happen, Kenny. Yeah, this is a positive show. This is a glass is half full kind of show. That's what WFO is. We've been called state-run media in the past. Wes attacked us for that. But it is. It's generally a show about the positive side of NHRA drag racing. If something negative does come up, I address it. We've done that in the past. Super Street is the best category in NHRA. Trans Ams, Camaros, Mazdas, pickup trucks, you name it, they're there. Fully agree. I genuinely believe this, not just because I'm there now. The reason I'm there is because I believe this. Super Street will have a tremendous reality show, could have a tremendous reality show because of the variety of cars, crazy character of people, and I want to say it's relatively low investment, low modification. The cars can be what they are. 78 Trans Am. Hey, shout out to our friends at PowerTube TV. PowerTube, you can get the app online. WFO shirts, hats, Project Pontiac stuff. Get your Project Pontiac stuff. We have shirts, but I do such a poor job of promoting my own swag, right? Do I have an image to show you? No. Of course not. Foggett and Rodax, 817-924-6821. Get coffee before the price of coffee goes through the roof. It's about to happen. If you want to join Patreon, you get to watch the Ignition show. You get to hear it from Heiner, the Pro Stock show. Timmy Freeman was our guest last week. Amazing interview with Tim Freeman, Rob Downing interviews that you won't see anywhere else unless you are a WFO Patreon. Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, the Dragster Adventure. Drive a dragster and become addicted like me and then spend all your money. It's great. Do it. Now, really, the thing about the Dragster Adventure is that you can drive a dragster without spending all your money. BURNYZZ Speed Shop. We'll see you at the Fan Fest. But go to BURNYZZ website, follow them on social, and see what they've got. HusseyPerformance.net, David Allen and the team. They do contingency programs and not just Copperhead gaskets anymore. HusseyPerformance.net, CWT Industries, Torque Calibration Services, FTI, the Transmission and Project Pontiac Total Seal, and Jesse Converters. Guys, we appreciate you. Thanks to Erica. And now I'm going to go load up. We are headed to the Baby Gators, WFO.
Like this show? Want more? Then head to WatchPTTV.com, the new 100% free PowerTube TV streaming network. Home of the best classic and new motorsports racing and build shows on the web.